What is education? Education is the foundation and the building blocks that is used through material and content that helps to expand both the students' academic knowledge, but also to give them a better perspective of the world around them. Education could be seen through the lenses of three different components. This is critical thinking, the ability to engage with the world around us, and apply our social emotional skills that we learn at a very young age as we get older. In terms of critical thinking is being able to analyze and understand information around us and then apply it. So this is, for example, would be a teacher explaining the material and the student taking it in, but then also being able to use it in different forms, whether that be hands-on, whether that be through writing, through speaking. So they're able to take it in, but then also express it through verbally or handwritten. In education, we use different curriculums to apply our students' critical thinking. We use state standards and guided lessons, then require students to think critically and apply the information in real-world situations. So by doing this, students are given tasks and challenges that they're able to use the information that they're given and then also be able to put it in different situations and put it through different perspectives that help them find the solution or the outcome. Engagement with the world. Having engagement with the world would be having the information that is needed to fight for yourself and stand up for yourself. So by gaining an education, you're able to see and have a perspective of the rights that you have. So not being educated, you're not able to see what rights you have, what different rules and things that you're able to speak on to be an active citizen in your society. So being able to have your own voice, having full access to your rights. Not having an education and not knowing what rights you have allow you to become susceptible and being taken advantage of. So for example, immigrants that come through different countries, when they're not given the proper education or not educated in the sense of your regular education through individuals in America, they kind of could be taken advantage of and they could be taken away from different viewpoints and rights that they could have because they don't understand exactly what things they're able to do, what they're not able to, what they're entitled to. So they just don't have a full understanding the language and different components that are involved in their different rights that they have without being given a proper education. Also, being able to applying social emotional skills. This helps of being able to emphasize with others around us and build friendships and relationships with our peers and teachers and other adults. So being able to have an education, it also doesn't just set you up for the present, but also sets you up for the future, because with your future career, you have to work on collaborating with others. You got to be able to communicate, be able to work as a team with one another. So building these friendships through education, through the materials, through different group work projects. So having this education and having this knowledge, you're able to apply it in situations where you are able to work one-on-one with other people. You're able to communicate information to somebody else. You're able to work through and solve problems. So at a young age, we were taught how to treat others and how we should be treated. So through the education, we learn about different components of respect, how we're supposed to engage with other people, how we're supposed to respect others, and also take in others' opinions and encourage for the growth of learning, but also appreciate the different information that we are intaking. So having compassion and strong emotional intelligence allows us to become active members in society. It also allows for us to become collaborative with each other. So through reading Plato's Cave, this one quote that says, "There are in it from childhood with their legs and necks bonds, so they are fixed, seeing only in front of them, unable because of the bonds to turn their heads all the way around." So this quote explains the whole basis of education, because when we are born, we are just given the information through our nature, the information that we know, what we're intaking from our parents. Now, having the education, by only being given the basic information, we're not able to expand our knowledge. We're not able to see further than what we are given. So having the education, we're able to open our perspective. We're able to see through different perspectives. We're able to gain different morals and our ethical principles that we have through learning the information that we were given. So, also, education inspires lifelong and continuous learning, providing differentiated instruction to individuals with an understanding that not all individuals learn the same. Each student is different. Each person has their different needs, and that some individuals need continuous instruction, hands-on, tactile learning, or even to be pulled out for additional support. So, in my perspective, I was in a special education classroom from the grades of 2nd through 8th grade. And this was very beneficial for me to have my own specific education because I wasn't able to sit through a classroom lecture. I wasn't able to retain the information through the perspective of my fellow peers. So having the information, being able to work through and have the learning that was accompanying for me and what helps me learn, it kind of meets each of the needs and meets each of the learning that is specific to a specific student. However, one could say that through this education of using social, emotional, critical thinking, the students are also being pushed through and they're being given information that is too difficult for them and they're not retaining and being able to use it in other factors. So a perfect example would be No Child Left Behind program. Students are being pushed through grades without getting a complete understanding of grade level material prior or have to become proficient or even master these skills. So through being pushed through, the students are not seeing and not really understanding the information. They're just learning it, taking a test, and then moving on. So one would object to say that education is just a system. It is just giving the information, testing, and then moving on. So for example, in the Plato's Cave, the quote says, "Someone dragged him away from there by force along the rough, steep, upward way and didn't let him go before he had dragged him out into the light of the sun. Wouldn't he be distressed and annoyed at being so dragged?" So this quote explains how this shows how students are being pushed, that they're being dragged, they're dealing with a lot of difficulty, they're dealing with a lot of struggle because they're not fully understanding the information. It is just they're being given information that is too advanced for them, too intense, which makes it to become a difficult and becomes a challenge for them. They're not fully understanding the components and being able to master it. It is seen as though in society that the students are just being taken to and having to learn information, but not understanding the purpose behind it and how they're able to utilize it in other senses. However, through learning this, education also provides special education programs. So through special education programs within each grade level, from the most part, lower level learners who are not at grade level are pulled to bridge the gap. So having special education classrooms, students are being put in the classrooms and put in instruction that helps them to meet their grade level. So they're able to learn techniques, to learn information that allows them to expand their knowledge, allows them to see it through another perspective, meets the needs that they need and the resources that could help them. By doing this would help them eventually meet their grade level peers. So through the use of direct and small group instruction, special education teachers are able to work closely and identify needs and strengths, as well as set short goals for them to be mastered. So through these short goals, it helps them not only reach the grade level that they're currently in, but it also could help them reach future grade levels and helps them meet the goals and the challenges for the future. Also, this quote from Plato's Cave that says, "I suppose he would prefer to undergo everything rather than live that way." So this explains how being exposed to this information and being so-called pushed in society could be beneficial for individuals because they're being given the information, they're able to see it through another perspective, and by doing this, they're able to connect information. They're able to gain a knowledge further than what they have prior to coming to schooling. So by just living by this way, you're kind of put in a standstill. You're not able to advance your learning. You're just learn your basic information, and that is as far as you're going to go. However, by having the education and having these fundamental tools put in place, even though it could be seen as them being pushed through, you're able to engage with your peers, but you're also gaining the social aspect, the physical, and also the emotional, because you're engaging with your peers, you're interacting, but then you're also learning information that will help you not only for you as a citizen in society, but then also your future careers, your aspirations that help you become a part of a team or be able to complete a task as your interest of job.